And you can direct them now, not tomorrow. The first is to not just invite, is to summon. And I can tell you, Mr. Speaker, when the Parliament summons, it does not matter whether you're on leave or you're on honeymoon or you're in a cabinet meeting. The summons of a Parliament, in my view, in fact, actually supersedes the summons of the High Court, because we make the law. We make the law. So, Mr. Speaker, the CS was summoned and other government officials were summoned. They did not turn up. What do we do? Because we cannot just let it rest there. And some of them say, let them talk. They can talk until tomorrow. And they can come tomorrow again and they talk and complain. Mr. Speaker, I've had an incident when in the old time when Kanu was what it is, that a speaker put a minister using the orderlies for 2 hours waiting for a committee because he was in contempt. You said, let him rest there until the speaker decides what to do with him. So, Mr. Speaker, if that someone has not been complied with, the second provision is that you can enforce attendance. You can enforce attendance, and there are consequences. So, Mr. Speaker, I believe that it is within your power now to enforce the attendance of the Cabinet Secretary, and even the Director of Public Prosecutions, because, Parliament, in his oversight role, we oversight all institutions, including the presidency. We oversight all these institutions. So I invite you, instead of lamenting, that you can stand up in that throne where you sit to deal with the contempt. And the contempt has been committed in the face of the Senate because you gave that direction. And I saw you standing up when you were giving that direction. The second issue, which is separate and distinct, and I want to persuade you that the first issue you can deal with. The second issue, it is upon us as members of the Senate. To adjourn or not to adjourn, it is not within your power, Mr. Speaker. I want to advise you, if you may take my advice. The power to adjourn, it is our powers. And we are going to invite you to exercise those powers, to allow exercise those powers to decide whether to adjourn or not to adjourn. And I addressed you earlier in the morning on why we needed to adjourn. So, Mr. Speaker, I invite you to first of all deal with the question of the contempt. And then when we finish that one, we come to the question of adjournment, where we can also address you sequentially, and we finish with the business of the House.